Hi, Ben from Murrow. In our previous video, we've shown you all of the features and functionalities that the GrantStream SoftwareUCM has to offer. Today, we'll show you how to install the SoftwareUCM on a virtual machine, link the license key, and log into your new PBX. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so once you've purchased the SoftwareUCM license, you will receive an email from GrantStream giving you the license file to activate the SoftwareUCM. But in order to install this software, we need to download the ISO file. In order to do that, simply on the email that you've received, click on Download the SoftwareUCM firmware, and it would open a new tab and it would start downloading. So once this download is finished, this is the file that we need to now attach to our virtual machine so that we can boot the VM up with the ISO. Let's wait for this file to download and then we'll attach it to the virtual machine and we can get started. Okay, so my ISO file is finished downloading and now I'm going to head over to my virtual environment so that we can get started. For this example, I'm going to use a Proxmox environment, but you are also welcome to use your AWS or Microsoft Hyper-V environment. It doesn't make a difference. So this is my Proxmox environment. I'm going to log in. And there we go. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to click on Create New VM. I'm going to leave the VM ID as 101 and I want to say it's SoftwareUCM, and for my reference, I would like to add the IP address as well. Just for me to see which VM in the list on the left has what local IP address. So let's click on Next. Then, after you've downloaded the ISO file, you'll upload it to your VM instance or to your virtual environment. As you can see, I already have my SoftwareUCM ISO file attached. So I'm going to select it and click on Next. Here, I'm going to click on Next and I want to add, let's say, 50 gigs hard drive, and also we'll do 1 core CPU. Let's maybe add 2 cores. So I'm going to add 4 gig RAM to this instance and I'm going to click on Next. I'm going to attach it to the virtual manager's bridge. So let's click on Next and I'm going to click on Finish. All right, so this is quite quick. So once the SoftwareUCM name is displayed and I can see the IP address that I'm going to use for this VM, I'm going to double click on this VM and I want to make it a big screen so that we can all read and see what's happening during the installation. So I'm going to start this VM and now we'll see that it's going to boot up from that ISO file that we attached. So install SoftwareUCM, yes, let's press enter. Alright, once the installer has started, we'll be presented with the license agreement. Let's scroll a little bit down so that we can see the bottom of the page, and let's scroll all the way down to where we have to accept. So do you accept the license agreement? Press Y and enter. So once we've accepted the license agreement, the installation will start automatically. You don't have to do anything manually or type any code for this. Just wait for the installation to finish. Once the SoftwareUCM installation is finished, it's going to send a reboot request. You will see that your virtual machine is going to reboot, and after that you will be presented with the SoftwareUCM login page. Remember, this is still CLI and we don't have a username or a password. The default username to log into the backend is support, and if you press enter, it's going to tell you to set up a password for this user. So let's set up a password. There we go. We have now set up a password and we are now logged into the SoftwareUCM. Now we can press the number 1 for SoftwareUCM management and press enter. And then we can press 1 to list the SoftwareUCMs on this VM. Press enter. And here we can see our instance name is UCM1. We have an IP address of 172.16.40.100 that our network gave to this VM. And we have the initial username and password, SoftUCM@admin. So let's have a look. 172.16.40.100. We have admin as the username, as we can see in the command terminal. And we have SoftwareUCM at admin. Let's click on login. And now again, we'll be presented with the license agreement. Let's scroll all the way down and click on I agree. Now, this is the license file that we received on email. So let's go back to the email and let's download this license file. Let's head back to the SoftwareUCM and let's click on upload to upload the license file. There we go. Let's open that. Now it's going to activate it online. Remember, our virtual machine requires internet to do this. As we can see, the plan has been activated successfully. And let's click on Go Now. Now we'll have to give our SoftwareUCM a new username. So let's name it Miro and our password Miro as well. There we go. My email address, I'll use mine. And let's click on Next. We'll leave our MTU as 1500 and you can enter the preferred DNS server if you have one. Depending on your configuration, we can change the IP method from DHCP to static. Remember, I wanted to use 172.16.40.12. So I can now go click on static and I can say 172.16.40.12 and also with a gateway, 172.16.40.254. My DNS server will just use Google's DNS server at the moment and we'll click on Next. We'll select English, click on Next. So the default start extension for GrandStream is 1000, but you are welcome to change this. The create number means that 5 extensions will be created automatically once our server is ready, and we'll use a random created password. So let's click on Next. We don't have any subtrunk that we would like to add now, so I'm going to click on Skip. And we have our username, our email, MTU, and click on Save. Now the server is going to reboot, so let's give it some time to reboot. One thing to note when the device is rebooting is if we go back to the VM, you'll notice that the entire VM is not rebooting, but rather the SoftwareUCM service is rebooting. This is quite a nice feature because it means that the SoftwareUCM service will be back up a lot quicker rather than rebooting the entire VM. So while this is rebooting, let's have a look if our new IP address now works. 172.16.40.12 and let's press enter. There we go. We've successfully changed our IP address from 40.100, which was on DHCP. We've changed that to a static IP address of 40.12. Let's enter our username and password that we've created. And there we go. We've given the SoftwareUCM a static IP address through the initial setup. We've created a username and password for us, and we are now logged in to our system. And that's it. We've successfully installed our SoftwareUCM on the virtual machine. As we can see, the graphical user interface is exactly the same as the UCM series that we all learned to love. Get your SoftwareUCM today by sending us an email to sales@miro.co.za or give us a call on 012-657-0960. And we'll see you in the next one.